Bugs and insects are probably the most innocuous looking creatures that inhabit the earth. While they certainly scare the bejeezus out of some of us, most of us just don't seem to mind them that much. However, there are some bugs that definitely deserve a second look, because one careless move around them might spell certain doom. Number 1 is in the title of the deadliest insect on Earth, so make sure you stay tuned for that. With that said, here are the 15 most dangerous bugs on Earth. Our very first entry is the deer tick. Ticks in general are bad news, but usually just to animals. However, there is one that'll be a pain in the backside when you're bit. That would be the deer tick, which is a major reason for its infecting of people with Lyme disease. We're not just talking about a couple of hundred people here, but rather thousands of people every year. Lyme disease starts with a small rash around the tick bite, but soon develops into headaches and heart problems. Later on, the infected person will suffer from stiff joints and a ton of pain. Few people have died from this disease, but whether you survive it or not, one thing is for sure. The pain and suffering it causes is extreme. No wonder it made it to the list of most dangerous bugs. Our next entry is the black widow spider. When you look at the word dangerous on the dictionary, you'll find the definition of the word dangerous. I mean, what else were you expecting? But if there's a bug whose name is synonymous with dangerous, it would be the black widow spider. The black widow spider makes a venom that affects your nervous system. Some people are only slightly affected by it, but others may have a severe response. Right away, you're gonna feel severe pain, burning, swelling, and redness at the site. Although it is rarely deadly, the mere fact that a single bite from one of these bugs can cause breathing difficulties and severe stomach cramps makes it an extremely dangerous bug. Our next entry is the yellow jacket. The yellow jacket is one of the most menacing insects known to man. These brightly colored wasps possess a fiery sting and bite seemingly out of proportion to their size. Yes, you heard that right. They can sting and bite at the same time. And unlike bees who can only sting you once, these guys can sting multiple times since their sting stays attached. Compared to other stinging insects, they are the most aggressive, especially when defending their territory. They will assign a guard to stand watch at the nest opening and alert the colony to a threat. If you unwittingly walk into their threshold, the chance of a swarm attack is huge, so buckle up, buddy. Our next entry is the black spitting thick-tailed scorpion. The name itself should be enough to tell you that this insect is not one that you should mess with. The black spitting-tailed scorpion is definitely one of the most dangerous scorpions in the world. They are usually found in the deserts of South Africa. They can be easily recognized for their thick, dark tails, which has a stinger on its tip. These stings hurt. That's not the thing you should watch out for. You see, these guys spit out their venom. Get it on your skin, you're gonna feel extreme pain. If it somehow gets into your bloodstream, paralysis and even death is fairly common. Our next entry is PUSS caterpillars. The PUSS caterpillar, or woolly slug, is the most poisonous caterpillar in the United States. Its poison is hidden in hollow spines among its hairs, which, funnily enough, look kinda like a wig. Okay, yeah, the wig may look funny, but these guys are no laughing matter. A PUSS caterpillar sting feels like a bee sting, only worse. The pain immediately and rapidly gets worse after being stung and can even make your bones hurt. People unlucky enough to get stung by this crawling toupee of pain can look forward to feeling much, much worse. Aside from the usual swelling, itching, rash of red blotches, and raised ridges, you're also gonna feel restlessness and anxiety. That is if you can get your mind off of the pain in your bones. Our next entry is the human botfly. Human botflies aren't dangerous because they can sting, and it's not because they're venomous either. These guys are highly dangerous because they live for only one thing: reproducing. And since these guys don't live that long, they need to make sure that the eggs that they lay and the larva that comes out of them hatch in a place that has plenty of food. Unfortunately, that ideal place is under your skin. They hijack mosquitoes and deposit their eggs within it. The mosquito in turn transfers the eggs under your skin when they're fed, and after the eggs hatch is when the true horror begins. The tiny larvae feed and grow under your skin, causing a very nasty infection. What do they eat? Well, I'll leave that up to your imagination. To add to the horror, you can't just pull these guys out because of reverse-facing spikes covering its body, firmly anchoring it down into your flesh. Our next entry is kissing bugs. The kiss of death? These guys have it. Kissing bugs get their name because of their habit of feeding near the mouths and nostrils of mammals. They're attracted there by carbon dioxide that we breathe out. Aside from feeding there, they also make use of that area as their own personal toilet. The danger of these bugs are in its urine and feces, that is if you ingest them, which is easily considering their placement. They are the only known carriers of a microscopic parasite called Trypanosoma cruzi, which causes the deadly Chagas disease, a deadly disease that causes 10,000 deaths every year. Chagas disease is an infection that spreads throughout the body, causing a number of complications. The disease can take up to 20 years to kill a person, and dying from the disease is extremely painful. While the symptoms themselves can be treated, there is no known effective cure for this deadly disease as of the moment, but we can only hope. Our next entry is the bullet ant. Bullet ants can be found all over the Amazon rainforest, so encountering them can be pretty common. But be warned, they are not called bullet ants for nothing. They are known as the insect with the most painful bite. People have often likened being bitten by one of these creatures to being shot by a bullet. They're also called the 24-hour ant because the pain that it brings lasts for that long. Despite the excruciating pain that they bring, certain Amazon tribes actively seek them out. They catch the ants and then weave them into large mittens made up of woven palm leaves. Adolescent males, eager to prove their manliness, wear the gloves for hours on end, all the while dancing with women, enduring the searing pain the ants give them. Our next entry is the Brazilian wandering spider. The Brazilian wandering spider has the most neurologically active venom of all spiders, and is regarded as the most dangerous spider in the world. The problem here is they usually frequent areas in close proximity to us humans, greatly increasing the risk of getting bit. It will bite in order to protect itself, but unless startled or aggravated, most bites will be delivered dry or without venom. Venom bites will occur if the spider is pressed against something or hurt. In this case, the high levels of serotonin contained in the venom will deliver a very painful bite that can result in muscle shock. And when anti-venom isn't administered quickly, even death may happen. Our next entry is tsetse flies. The tiny, unimposing tsetse fly makes its way into this list because of the parasite that it delivers into the human body when it bites. This little fly can deliver a parasite that causes sleeping sickness. Sleeping sickness is a disease that can be fatal if left untreated. The symptoms include fevers, headaches, and joint pains. In advanced cases, a victim can suffer from confusion, poor coordination, numbness, and trouble sleeping, hence its name. It is estimated that about 500,000 people have already lost their lives to the disease that this insect brings. On the upside, it seems that African authorities have the disease pretty much under control, only recording 977 cases back over in 2018. Our next entry is the brown recluse spider. The bite of a brown recluse is extremely venomous and has led to fatalities through massive tissue loss and the subsequent infection. Sadly, fatalities from brown recluse spiders have been reported only in children younger than 7 years. So you know that they're dangerous, so you stay away from them, right? Well, it's actually not that easy, sadly. This is because these guys prefer hanging out in dimly lit areas. When they get into your house, they would probably hang out under sheets or in a shoe. You see where I'm going here? My advice is just to check your shoes every time you try putting them on. Our next entry is the fire ant. The fire ant sting is quite painful as well, and the white pustules caused by fire ant stings can last for weeks. Their venom also causes several skin problems, with just some of the effects including bumps, rashes, chest pain, loss of breath, and nausea. The allergic reaction can be treated with oral medication. However, the victim will have to undergo treatment if too much toxins were injected. Fire ant venom, although not deadly by itself, can cause severe allergic reactions to those susceptible to them. It consists of a very harmful toxin called solenopsin, which can cause adverse effects on humans if injected in large amounts, which can easily happen because these guys always attack in groups. Our next entry is the Arizona bark scorpion. Measuring less than 3 inches in length, the Arizona bark scorpion is considered the most dangerous scorpion in North America. Although highly toxic, bark scorpion sticks are rarely fatal. In fact, there's only been about 2 recorded fatalities from bark scorpion stings since they started keeping records in the 60s. But that fact shouldn't put your mind at ease, not one tiny bit. When striking, adult scorpions inject the exact amount of venom they need to disable their prey. They can also control venom distribution when defending themselves, so stings from adult scorpions can vary from the equivalent of a bee sting to something far more painful. In contrast, baby bark scorpions lack this self-control, so their stings can often contain more venom. Now it's time for today's best pick. Today's best pick is definitely something straight out of a trypophobic's nightmare. This bug definitely looks menacing, but is it as dangerous as it looks? We'll find out next with the ABEDUS water bug. The ABEDUS water bugs are also called toe biters because, well, they bite toes for kicks. These fascinating bugs are native and found locally in streams in the Santa Monica Mountains, so be very careful when wading in the waters in these areas. Their bites are extremely painful, and if you've been bitten by an ant in between your toes before, imagine that pain and multiply it by around 100. That's basically the only danger they pose to us humans. Their painful bites usually result only in pain and redness, and nothing more than that. There were rumors that they were carriers of deadly viruses and bacteria, but those are false rumors. However, I would definitely understand why people with trypophobia are afraid of them. The males of this species carry the females' eggs on their backs until they hatch, giving them that terrifying appearance. Before we move on, do me a favor. My analytics show that only about 15% of you watching are actually subscribed. Come on guys, what's up with that? Can you guys please hit the subscribe button? You guys watch my videos every day anyway, so you might as well subscribe and keep up to date with every video we put out. Our last entry is mosquitoes. Ask any bug expert what they think the most dangerous insect is, and I guarantee you they'll have the same answer: the mosquito. They number in the billions and inhabit all areas of the earth except the coldest of areas. They're responsible for millions of deaths all over the world every year. They carry a multitude of deadly diseases, from malaria to typhoid, and then of course the Zika virus. For most folks, the symptoms from this virus are mild, just a fever, rash, joint pain, and red eyes. The real danger may be to pregnant women and their babies. It's linked to a birth defect called microcephaly, which causes small heads and brain damage. Know of any other dangerous bugs? Well, let us know down below in the comments. Also, feel free to check out the channel's other amazing videos. As always, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Later, everybody.